In this video, I will be reviewing an early access version of Learn Go with pocket-sized projects from Manning Publications. Hi, I'm Jonathan Hall, and as you probably know, I've been doing a lot of book reviews lately. I'm trying to find the best book to learn Go in 2023 so that you can choose the best one and don't have to read all of them. As I started publishing the early reviews in my series, I've gotten some great feedback from viewers. And a few viewers have made some recommendations for other books I should review. I've ordered some of those. One of them isn't published yet, but I want to review it anyway, as best as I can. And that's this book, Learn Go with Pocket-Sized Projects. Now, Manning lets you purchase the book before it's done if you want to, which I've done with their program, the Manning Early Access Program, or MEAP. So this review is going to be a little bit different than the others since this book isn't actually complete yet. It's only about a third complete. 4 chapters out of 12 are currently available. And I don't have a physical copy. I read a PDF, but I'll talk about that. And I probably won't be including this one in the final conclusion, but I do want to talk about it because there's a lot of things in this book I found that I like. So this book is scheduled to come out in the fall of 2023. If you're watching this video in the future and it's already the fall of 2023 or later, there will be a link up here somewhere for you to click on, and you can jump to a new review that reviews the complete book. For now, I'm just reviewing the early access version of the book, which I have available to me right now in the first quarter of 2023. So keep that in mind if you want to watch the full review when it comes out, and of course, be sure to subscribe so that you get notified when it comes out. Without further ado, here's my review of the early access version of the book. So as always, let's start with who this book is for. The book claims to be for current software developers who know and use another language and would like to extend their professional skills. So I think this is really intended for professional developers. It's probably not targeted at, say, university students or hobbyists. That's not to say you couldn't benefit from this book if that describes you, but it's targeted at professional developers. And that really comes through in something I'm going to talk about in a minute, which is their approach to testing, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, the first example in the book is Hello World, which might make you think this is really intended for brand new software developers, but their approach to Hello World and every other example in the book is a little bit unique, at least as far as I've seen so far, which I'll talk about in just a second, but it's really not as basic as you might think. So let's talk about the style, the prose style. I do like the style of this book. It's very conversational. It feels a lot like having sort of my own mentor or colleague sitting next to me and describing and explaining the language to me as I'm reading through the book. Scattered throughout the book are a number of sort of inline sidebars. I guess they're not technically sidebars; they're not on the side, but inline with a different background color that sort of pull out some specific detail or give you an anecdote, and I like that style. It makes it easy to skip over it if you're really focused on the main content, but that extra level of detail is also nice, so I do like that approach. Let's talk about the content. If you've watched my other reviews, one of my common complaints is these books that don't talk about testing in Go. This book does not have that problem. Praise the Lord. This book makes testing a first-class concern. Now, I told you that the Hello World example was a little bit different than you might expect, and one of the reasons for that is that as soon as you write Hello World, the book has you write a test for Hello World. That might sound ridiculous, right? But testing is part of professional software development. Whether you do test-driven development with your tests first or you do test after development, either approach, learning to do good tests is a really vital part of learning to do Go or any language on a professional level. And this book takes that seriously. So after the book describes Hello World and has you write the test, then it starts having you tweak your Hello World. It actually gives it multilingual support. So you can say Hello World in French or whatever language you want. And it walks you through expanding your test suite to expose or to test the new behavior as you add it. I think that's pretty cool because that's kind of the way we write code in the real world. You add some functionality, you write tests around it, and then you expand that functionality either as part of the initial work, or maybe you come back months later to add new functionality and you want to add tests to it. So the book really, I think, does a great job, so far as I can tell so far, at making testing a core part of programming and explaining it in a useful and really beginner-friendly way. So as high as my praise is for this part, this aspect of the book, I can't give you a very complete review of the book because it's just not a complete book yet. Now, one thing I really like about this approach, this project approach with the tests, is that I think this book could make for a really good text for a course. So I think somebody, perhaps myself, more on that in a minute, could turn this into a course very easily. You could just essentially go through each chapter and build out the examples with the tests, discuss it as a class, either online or virtual, or in a physical classroom. Just the structure of this book really lends itself to teaching. Whether you do it in a course or on your own, I think this approach is a great one. Another great thing about this book that many of the others have missed is the talk about Go modules. Of course, this book isn't published yet. It's supposed to come out in the fall of 2023. So I would honestly expect a book written this year to talk about Go modules, because that is the de facto way, perhaps the only way really to do Go these days. So it covers that basis. That's great. And it remains to be seen what attention this book will give to generics. So I can't comment positively or negatively on that yet. Here's hoping that generics are covered adequately. And of course, because this book is in progress, there are a number of editorial notes within the text about detail that needs to be added, or fill out this section and so on and so forth. Notes to presumably to the authors of the book to extend that. But what's there so far I like and is good. One topic I always cover in these reviews is the accuracy. I haven't found any accuracy errors in this book yet, except a few typographical errors and things like that, which I fully expect to be fixed before the book is published. But again, the book isn't complete, but so far everything looks good in that regard. And I like to talk about the physical characteristics. That's also something I can't talk about here because I don't have a physical book yet. I have pre-ordered one, so once that's published, I hope to have that sent to me quickly, and I can do a full review of the book at that point. But for now, based on the PDF and my previous experience with other books from the same publisher, the physical characteristics are going to be fine. Let me just show you a couple screenshots from the PDF so you have a sense of kind of what it looks like. Here's the table of contents as it stands right now. I expect this will probably be fleshed out further, maybe with subpoints. And then the text itself is black text on a white background with this sort of dark blue headings. I expect that the print book will be black and white, so the blue will probably show up as black. Either way, it's fine. And then you see, here's some of those sidebars I was talking about with the gray background. And then the code samples are easy to read. They're in a nice monotype font with proper indentation, and a little bit lighter color gray background. So there's a sense of what the book looks like in its pre-physical form. So what's my conclusion? Well, I don't actually know yet. I'll know in a few months when the book is finally published. But so far, I'm excited about this book. I really like it. I wish it were complete. I would love to really be able to include this book in my 2023 review. Maybe this will be ready for the 2024 review. But for now, I'm really excited about this book. Based on what I've seen, I would probably give this book a 5-star review. But there's still room to be disappointed if some of the upcoming chapters aren't as complete as I might like. Maybe generics won't be covered completely, or who knows what. But so far, I'm excited. Cautiously optimistic, I suppose, about this book. I'm really looking forward to the final product. Be sure to subscribe so that you can get notified when I review this book finally in hopefully fall of 2023 when it's expected to come out. Now, if you don't want to wait until the fall of 2023 to learn Go, of course, stick around for my final conclusion for the best books to read in 2023. And you might also be interested to know that I'm preparing a course specifically on testing in Go that should be out later this quarter 1 of 2023. If you head over to boldlygo.tech/courses, you can sign up to be notified when that course is ready. And you can also sign up to my daily mailing list. I will send you a daily email about Go if you go to boldlygo.tech/daily. Until then, boldly go.